Hi, my name's Anne Hewitt and I'm the author of the High Level Language Comprehension Test, shortened to the HILT. I'm a senior lecturer in speech and language therapy at Manchester Metropolitan University and a specialist paediatric SLT in the NHS. I've worked with children with a wide range of communication impairments over the last 30 years. Clinical practice and research has identified that there is a group of children with comprehension difficulties who perform within normal limits on tests of understanding of grammatical structures, but who display significant difficulty understanding higher level language, in particular inferential and non-literal comprehension. There are no detailed standardised tests of high level comprehension, although some existing assessments include a few subtests in these areas. Consequently, I developed the HILT as part of my PhD at Manchester Met. It's based on the findings of numerous researchers into high-level language development in typically developing children and children with communication impairments. See Appendix 1 for details of this research. The HILT can be administered by speech and language therapists, teachers, educational psychologists and other professionals working with children with communication impairments. It can be used to aid differential diagnosis and to highlight specific areas for intervention. It's a purely verbal test. You ask the child a range of questions, he or she responds verbally and you record his or her responses on the test recording sheets. Only a basic level of expressive language is required for the child to be able to answer correctly. Administering the test. Print off the test and divide it into the different sections. Pages 20 to 22 are the test summary cover sheets for children in the different age brackets. Pages 23 to 48 are the test recording sheets. Make copies of the recording sheets with the summary cover sheets for the different ages stapled to the front. So this is the summary cover sheet, so make sure that that, for the correct age, is stapled to the front of the recording sheets. Then have pages 49, which is the emotions pictures, and 50, the yes, no, maybe, ready to use for sections 7, 8 and 9. Follow the guidelines for test administration on pages 16 to 18 and remember that for 5 to 5-11-year-olds you only complete sections 1 to 8. The 6 to 9-11-year-olds complete all 12 sections and the 10 to 11-11-year-olds complete only section 12, which is the idioms. Then you write down the child's responses to each question verbatim and make a note of any gestures used. You can carry out the whole test, which will provide you with year group age equivalents and centile scores. It takes about 45 minutes to administer, half that if you record the test and transcribe the answers later. You may need to split the assessment across 2 sessions. You may prefer to administer selected subtests only rather than the whole test, which is fine. Only year group age equivalents are provided for each subtest. Once you've finished administering the test, use the detailed marking criteria on pages 52 to 60 to score the child's answers. Scores given are 1 for a correct answer and 0 for an incorrect answer. Add up the raw scores for each subsection and enter this figure into the raw score boxes on the child's front cover sheet. So that is here. You would enter the raw scores here. Then you add up the total of the subsection raw scores and enter this figure into the raw score box of the total test score at the bottom of the page, which is here. Then use pages 64 to 66 to convert the raw scores to year group age equivalents for all of the subtests administered. If you have administered the whole test, then use page 67 to convert the total test raw score to year group age equivalents, and then pages 68 to 70 to convert it to a centile score. For example, a child who is 806 who obtains a total test score of 90, page 67 shows you that the nearest year group age equivalent to this score is the 6 to 611 band. So if you look here, you would see this is the total test scores, age equivalents and centiles, and if you look, the nearest raw score to his is this one here, which is 89, and if you go over to the right, that shows you the age equivalent there, which is 6 to 611. Then page 69 shows you how to convert this raw score to a centile. So you would find his age group at the top of the page, which is here, 8 to 811, and then you would go down the left hand column here until you find his raw score of 90, and then you go across to the score in the right hand column there, and this tells you that his score for this test places him on the 5th centile. Then use page 63 to help you to interpret the centile score. This score falls right at the bottom of the low category. In addition to the quantitative scores given, you can also analyse the types of responses the child gives in this assessment qualitatively. Appendices 2 and 3 give examples of unusual and amusing responses to the test questions from both typically developing children and children with communication impairments. The children with autism spectrum conditions in Appendix 3 show distinctive patterns of responses, for example demonstrating their special interests, literal understanding, problems interpreting emotions, social inferencing difficulties, difficulties with the questions requiring empathy and theory of mind skills, etc. Okay, that's it, and I hope you find the assessment a clinically useful tool. Thank you very much.